It's 3, 2,
There's
1.
a countdown.
Yay!
And I think we are now live, although there might be a few seconds like, hey, Alpha Sisters, it's CEO here. It's Psychic Happy Hour. I'm here with Jillian. So I hope you guys can see us. Let me just double check on my phone to see if we pop up. Here we are. Here we are. Awesome. So welcome, Jillian. Thank you for doing this Psychic Happy Hour with me.
Thanks.
Would you take a minute to introduce yourself to the sisterhood?
Yeah, my name is Jillian Puerto. I've been doing Reiki since I was 12 and other types of psychic divination. For now, I'm offering Reiki and tarot reads, as well as oracle reads at Indigo, which is in Richmond, Virginia on Patterson Avenue, and that can be contacted through Instagram for private readings and in-house Reiki sessions as well.
Do you do virtual healing session and tarot readings also? Awesome. So we'll share more information how you can work with it. So Jillian is in my inner circle. So we've worked one-on-one before, and she's in my paid membership site, which is full of quite talented and magical sisters. So she's volunteering her time to pull cards for you guys. So what you need to do is comment here with your name, because as you can see, for some of you, we're unable to see the name, but just like Sarah did, Sarah says, you are asking for general guidance. Jillian, what deck are you using?
I'm using the classic Rider-Waite tarot deck.
Excellent. All right, so let's start with Sarah. Let's general guidance for Sarah. I'll be using my Morning Calm Oracle. So and then I actually have another deck. If you have relationship or love reading request, this is kind of a specific deck for that called Killik deck, Oracle deck, made by another Alpha sister. But anyway, all right, so we'll start. Sorry, Sarah, we'll start with Sarah.
So 2 cards fell out. I wasn't done shuffling, but they fell out. And one was the Page of Cups. And then the other was the Chariot. And in terms of general guidance, it feels like you feel a little in over your head and a little overwhelmed. You might want to take a break, slow down, pause, examine why you're doing what you're doing, kind of analyze what you really want out of things.
Sarah, I pulled a ritual card for you. You're being asked to create some type of a routine, to get kind of grounded and to expand and continue on this process. And I do see a little comment, Sarah, that you say you would like a love reading. So I went ahead and pulled another card because I saw it. And I pulled a card called Diary, Secrets, Revelation, and Deception. So this card tells me that, I don't know, it helps when, if I'm doing a love reading with just one card, I need to know whether you're single or attached. So that helps. But for you, it feels like there are things that are not on the surface for you. So there are certain things, maybe if you're single, it's about yourself. If you are attached, it's about the person or the relationship. There are certain things that's not on the surface for you that you may have to uncover or get to the truth. Not necessarily a bad thing, but you just need to get to know yourself or the other person better. All right, we're moving on to Tamara. Tamara would like a general guidance. Ooh. I'll go first since all these 4 cards came out. Tamara, all these 4 cards just dropped out. So loving yourself, make sure you're taking care of yourself and really putting yourself as a priority. Divine timing. So you need to have a patience around how quickly things are happening for you or how quickly you want things to happen for you. And then both card, Mountain Spirit and Tiger Spirit came out. So everything you seek to make this work or make your situation successful is already within you. You might need a little guidance for someone. So mountain is, if you might, it might be your spirit guide, but it might actually be a human guide. You might need some guidance or support from someone who knows a little bit more, better to support you. But other than that, you have everything you need. So trust yourself.
And I got sort of similar to the end of that statement. You have everything you need. The first card that fell out screamed to me about charity, in terms of giving as well. I feel that there's a love situation in your life that feels a little sideways, and I think it's distracting it feels like it's distracting some of your time. So if you work on building back towards your core values, you'll find that, like Sia was saying, you have everything that you need here. You really are kind of sitting pretty. So just take a deeper look within and see where in your life you can give back some of what you have to those who are just starting out.
Awesome. That's for you, Tamara. Next is Amy. Amy Hart. I would love guidance for professional journey.
All right.
Amy, these two cards came out for you, so you gotta get focused. You gotta get focused and grounded, and then take action. Make sure you're not taking action from a scattered place where you're not kind of like, I could be doing this or I could be doing this. Make sure that you really get clear on what you want to focus and what you want, and then you will need to take action. You can't just be thinking about it and overthinking it and contemplating it. Actual physical action to make certain things happen needs to happen.
And I got the first card that came out was the Hermit, which makes me think that whatever you're considering doing is a journey that's best done trusting your own instincts. There's also a little bit about distraction with the Devil card. The Devil card isn't necessarily like Satan or the devil. It's more about like indulgence and decadence and things that take away from our true purpose, what we actually want to do with our life. But our life is the sum of moments throughout the day. It's not just the ideas that we have at the end of the day. It's the action, like Sia is saying, the things that we do to get there. And the Hermit card is actually, to me, like a really potent energy. It's about moving. He's ready. He's got a cloak for snow. He's got a walking stick for snow. He's got a light. He is determined. And so harness that energy and step away a little bit from distraction.
Yeah, get focused.
Yeah.
Away from the distraction. So next is Anna. I would love some general guidance for Anna. Let's see. Anna, I pulled the shaman card for you. So you are gifted. You have strong intuitive gift, and you were meant to explore and use that gift to help you. So you don't necessarily need to be a tarot reader or shaman or healer per se, but your intuitive gift was meant to help you thrive. So how are you exploring and expanding on your gifts? So that's the encouragement for you.
And I started laughing because I got pretty much the Rider-Waite's version of shaman. So the magician, go inward and listen to the voices there that have the answers.
Awesome, Anna. Good time for you. Good time. Marissa would like a general guidance. Marissa, it feels like you are on some type of a self-healing or journey to really love yourself. Maybe you're learning to love yourself more unconditionally. You're trying to change from your old you to be the kind of you that's more radically accepting and loving of yourself. You might be a little frustrated that it's not happening quickly enough, or I'm not there yet. I'm trying so hard, but it's not happening quickly. Just have patience, and it's happening. You are committed to this. This is already happening. It's just happening according to divine timing.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I get too. So the Page of Wands came out in the reverse first, which is to me a card of starting out, a card of learning, a card of hardship, kind of continuing through things, not being perfect. With this card in the reverse as well, it just feels like you feel like you are not making headway again, like, and not making progress. But when I got the Nine of Cups, and seeing that, like, if you keep moving, it's gonna come forth for you. So trust that all of these challenges are going to be fruitful.
Awesome. Next is Carrie. General guidance for Carrie. Cards are just like, I have the cards. Interesting. Like, I got an opposing card, so I'm just trying to understand what this means. Because great, like having a courage to take action and then surrendering it. So to me, as I tune in together for you, Carrie, it feels like you're only supposed to do what's in alignment with you. But you know, sometimes what's alignment with you, like all you have to do sometimes is one or two things. But then oftentimes we create like 10 different things we're supposed to do. And 8 of them, or 8 or 9 of them, is not even needed. But oftentimes we create this distraction of actions and striving and trying and control, and it actually kind of dilutes your ability to manifest the things you really want. So really try to go with the flow of what feels good in your heart and what feels like an alignment to your soul, and just focus on those and take care of those, and then the rest of it, just let things just fall, let things just stand, and you will be able, that's where you need to do. So just focus on what feels like an alignment to you.
Yeah, the first card out was the Moon, which is always to me your inner self going inward. It doesn't look like you've had a very easy time. So I'm sorry for that. But I think it goes to show that, along the lines of what Sia was saying, what has been being done is not working. And so we've got to put a pause on it and listen to what the wildest self inside of us has to say, the dream that doesn't necessarily seem like it's realistic. But it does feel like if you continue forward on the path that you're on, it's going to be kind of more of the same. So.
All right, next is Ariel. General guidance for Ariel. Ariel, these 3 cards came out. Also 4 cards, actually 4 cards. Ancestors. So your ancestors are looking out for you. Dragon spirit, huge, expansive energy just rising. So you are really coming into this bigger energy of who you are. And you're safe. Your ancestors are supporting you and guiding you. But it could feel like a lot to take, a lot to handle. So the guidance for you is lead with joy. So make sure that you only follow what skips your heart with like warmth and excitement and pleasure, and try not to stress yourself out with anything that's not really joyful to you. And then some type of a routine is needed. So you're going to need some type of a routine or ritual to continue on this process of this expansion, big dragon energy.
So general guidance on my end, it's got some pretty heavy cards, which I think Oh, I'm getting a lot of like what the last year was like for you, which is the Three of Swords, in the Emperor year, which is now gone, 2020. There's a lot that you left behind, and I think the end card is Justice, which is focusing on the expansiveness, like Sia said, like the possibilities, what you deserve, where you are, where you've been. It's really interesting to note that the Justice card and the Emperor card look similar at first, but they are extremely different energies, and you're moving into a more balanced, a more loving, literally just the word expansive is what Sia said. It's there for you. So relief is coming.
Yeah, that's great. We don't know who this person is because you didn't put your names, as you could see. So please comment again with your name so we could actually do a reading for you. So we're gonna skip you, and then we're moving on to Tasha. Can I have a general reading for Tasha? Crane spirit, lots of success, big fortune, like long life, luck, fortune, success. It's just all the good stuff in Crane spirit card. So it's looking good for you, at least from my end. What you got, Jillian?
Same. So the Hierophant came out, and I was like studying, working really hard, moving on to the Ten of Pentacles, just success. A lot of success for you in love, it looks like, as well, and like family endeavors. But it's all because of the work that you put in. So, I mean, that's awesome. I don't have any other. That's a
Awesome.
really
That's a simple and good, Tasha. Can't get better than that. Let's move on to Adriana with like a general guidance. Adriana, you're being asked, maybe don't try so hard. Maybe you're trying a little too hard, trying to control too much. It's coming from a good intention, but it's actually messing with your vibe. So if you could just go with the flow more, you might actually be able to manifest and create more results that you're looking for.
And the first card that came out was Page of Swords, which, I don't know you, but it feels very airy. It feels a little unfocused. The page is someone who, again, is just starting out, isn't quite grounded. So maybe work on grounding yourself whatever way best appeals to you. And it also looks like, to me, this screamed out family. There's a little bit about grounding with family, being fully present with family, being in your body with family, allowing them to ground you and nurture you back, because this is a very independent stance. Like, this is a solitary stance. So maybe look to people, it's a hard time, and we just have the holidays. So family doesn't have to mean like blood family. It can mean that people that you reach out to, your community. So look for solace and grounding in them, and not always working to do the things alone.
All right, we're moving on. Again, guys, you didn't put your name here, so we don't know who this Facebook user is. It's just our program doesn't allow us to see the name. So if you want us to read for you, we'll skip you, and please comment again with your name. Someone says, thank you for pronouncing my name correctly. Oh, awesome, we did it right. But we don't know the name, but yay, we did it right. The next person also didn't put the name, general guidance, and I didn't. So please, we're just gonna keep going, and you guys just comment again. Next is Angela asking for general guidance. Angela, pulled a card of talisman. So you're being asked to actually protect yourself. So there are potential encroachment to either whether it's your energy or your idea. It could be anything, but there's I don't want to scare you, but there is a slight threat to your being in terms of your energy, your boundaries, what you know, your knowledge, your information, even your money, your emotions. So you're just being asked to like put another layer, extra layer of protection for you. So that means strengthening your boundary, clearing your energy, decluttering, and really getting to intention of like protecting your energy and your surrounding, your being. So that's what comes up.
And for me, this read is a little heavy. It feels like there's a little bit of heaviness around your spirit. I got the 6 of Cups in the reverse. It feels like there's a little bit of a loss that almost feels like a betrayal with the Knight of Cups that was also in the reverse. And then the Empress that was also in the reverse. So a lot of internal work, a lot of emotional work. The Empress, with that card from you, I'm just getting that you are really working on trying to ground yourself after kind of a hard thing has happened and it's just not working. And it almost looks like you're surrounding yourself with really nice things, or maybe buying a lot of really nice things. So the Knight of Cups not in the reverse upright is someone who is looking forward and is able to have a full assessment of the situation. So maybe kind of going back to the advice from earlier, distraction is not necessarily the thing that's needed right now. It's more like a gentle assessment. So,
all right. Moving on to Amy Kelleher. That's my sister-in-law.
Aww.
So that's Amy, general guidance for Amy. I'm pulling extra cards because my family. Amy, I think there are a little bit of, you're being asked to find some balance. So maybe there are a lot of new things happening, new changes happening. So you are trying to recalibrate and adjust to that new norm, and you are not really balanced. So one area is getting a lot more energy and attention than you need to. So make sure that you get to that balanced state, and that you do that by going with the flow. Try not to control so much. And knowing Amy, I know that's hard for you, but do not over micromanage. You just need to go with the flow. That's the key to finding that balance, that the natural balance where you are thriving. Mountain spirit comes, so it feels like some nature time might be actually good for you too, to help you find that balance.
Yeah, so the cards that were pulled definitely have a theme. I'm just going to hold them together up, try to fit them all. So a lot of conflict, control, a little, I'm not trying to be harsh here, a little bit of distrust, more towards the control. And it's making everything a lot harder than it has to be. And it's leaving you alone. And you're not exactly thrilled about it either. So, work on ways in your life where it's not always a fight. Letting go, maybe necessarily, my dad has always said, like, sometimes when you lose, you win type thing. So.
Let go of control.
Yes.
Next is Ellis. Ellis wants a general guidance. Ellis, sisterhood card came up. So you're being asked to reach out to your community, or maybe you are already part of a community and you are giving a lot to the community, but maybe it's time for you to receive support from the community. So community sisterhood is a big part of the guidance for you. It's just plugging yourself into a community, serving what's in authentic way the community, but also asking for help and receiving help from the community.
Yeah, the first two cards out were that you are in a very comfortable spot. It feels, you feel very solid where you are. And so there was the Two of Cups in the reverse, which the first word that came to my mind was giving. When we come from such a place of abundance, we manifest more abundance by giving because we're not holding on to it. And so we're just understanding that more will come to us as we give. It's this beautiful chain of energy. So making sure to exactly connect with your community, see where I feel like you have a really specific, particular type of skill, and see where that need can fit around you.
Awesome. Next is Anjali. So Anjali needs a general guidance. Actually, there are new thing or new expansion of something. So there's some new thing that start your journey comes up. So it might be expansion of what you are already doing, or it could be something completely new. But playing your music comes out and start your journey. So together it tells me that this new thing or whatever this thing that you're cooking up, you are meant to like share that with the world. It is time, divine timing. It is time for you to start on this and play your music and share your voice, share your magic with the world. Divine timing.
And the first one for me that came up was the Nine of Pentacles paired with the Death card. So this is the order. Death is not, again, death. It can mean a new beginning and ending. The first word that came to mind with this card was the hustle, kind of like our classic societal hustle. And then with this came death. I think it's time to reimagine success, looking different than you thought it would. Reimagine new and different ways to get to where you want to be. And just like we were just talking about the energy of manifestation, there is a little bit of energy of, at times there can be an energy of desperation with the hustle because it comes from a place of lack and a place of scarce. So if you start approaching that from a different way, as opposed to, I'm exhausted, but I have to do this, otherwise this won't manifest, learn how you can also let go and trust, and it's going to look a lot different than you thought.
Awesome. All right, next is Jane. I think which Jane, I don't know. We're just to you, Jane. I guess you'll know. And let me look in the phone. Somebody who said that's me, Jane. That's you. This one. This Jane. I'm pulling card. This Jane that says that's me, Jane. Oh. They flew out 3 cards. Something needs to end. You need to let things, there's one thing that you need to stop and end. You need to let something end. And that's going to allow you to really step into your power to lead and step up and take up more responsibility. What is that? There's one thing that you need to, instead of trying to repair, you need to just let it end, let it burn it down. Jillian's favorite card, right? Burn it down.
Yes. That's my card. Yeah. Let it go. So the first card is the Queen of Cups upright. Feels like you feel stuck. Your energy is watery, and you, for whatever reason, this card presented to me as like a lot of rumination, almost without action, because you feel really burdened down and heavy. But the thing is that when you look at this card, these are the swords that this character chose to carry. So until we're ready for change, until we're ready to make those new moves, until we're uncomfortable enough that's when we can move forward out of the energy and decide, you know what, I think a movement, I think change might be better than where I'm at right now, because it does feel like a very like thick, stuck energy. So see what you can put down, see what you can let go of. Again, trust in the universe. When you make space for something, that's when things come in, but you have to make space first. So, yeah.
We're moving to the next person, Ayana. Ayana wants a general guidance.
Oh. I'll go ahead and go first as my cards. So the Emperor flew out. There's a big energy there. It's almost overwhelming. It's really interesting because the next card that came out was the Hermit. So it feels like there's a situation that requires a different approach. It almost, the energy is so intense, it almost feels like there's a person that is kind of overshadowing and overstepping, and it's a masculine energy, so we have to take that rest and that breath and to have time and space to hear ourselves. And honestly, this energy could come from you as well, when we act in ways that are from insecurity instead of authentic instinct. You know, we've always been this way. It doesn't allow room for space and growth. So if there's a big thing, if there's a big loud energy in your life, or you're finding that you are constantly presenting with this overbearing kind of loud energy, see what happens with the opposite. See how you feel with the opposite.
I pulled the ritual card and I heard meditate. So I felt like you needed some spiritual practice, like prayer, meditation, some type of that kind of a turning inward ritual needed. And then abundance and harvest card. So your hard work is going to pay off, but maybe now it's the time, just like Jillian said, that you kind of stop outward hustling, pull back inward, and then you start working on really connecting with your inner self in order for you to really fully manifest this thing you've been really working hard towards. That's for you, Ayana. We did Anjali already, so we're moving on, I think, because I think there's only one Anjali, right? Anjali, okay. If there's a second, Jane, I feel like we pulled the card for you already, but so you're asking about this loss. So if I recall, I pulled the burn it down and stuff, so something needed to end. So, and then I think Jillian also pulled a card of something to that fact.
Yeah, we're putting something down.
So hopefully, so that we hope that was helpful for you. Tasha said, oh yeah, so Tasha loved that. So great. Okay, next is Suyapa. Suyapa wants a general guidance.
Beautiful, that's my aunt's name. I love that.
Oh. Did I say it right?
That's how I say it.
Okay. Suyapa, let us know, but we're pulling card for you. I pulled these two cards for you. Integrity, like, are you showing up as who you truly are? The image that you're seeing yourself in the mirror, if you looked at yourself in the mirror, do they match? Are you proud of that person? Are you really being authentically you? Because it is safe for you, it is safe for you to be who you are. So think about, in a way, is there any way that you might be kind of shying away or being a little scared about being fully authentically who you are meant to be and who your soul self is? You're being asked that it is safe for you to be yourself. So claim that and be that.
Yeah, I kind of got the exact same thing. So the energy was really, really, like when I tapped into you and your name, it was this really positive, really joyful energy. So I was extremely surprised when the first card out was Eight of Wands. Paired with the Ten of Pentacles, just feels like things aren't matching up. Feels like you're, we all put on fronts for different reasons, but when you put on a front with yourself, that's where there's a real disconnect. So what can we do to bring this together in a reality that manifests itself as more authentic? So.
Awesome. That's you, Siapa. And then next is Lisa. Lisa wants a general guidance. I pulled enough and play your music card for you. So Lisa, for you, I think you know enough, you're good enough, you have enough to actually you have enough to offer to the world. Maybe there's part of you feel like, oh, I'm not ready yet. I need to maybe study more or get more experience, or I need to do these things. I need to prepare more. So if there's any feeling of not enough, pulling you away from sharing your voice and sharing your work or sharing what you're meant to do, you're being reminded that it's enough. It's more, actually, it's more than enough. So instead of like saying not enough, that's not real. So go to the world and share your voice, share your magic.
Yeah, the first card that I pulled is the Four of Pentacles. I don't know if you can see, there's a city in the background. I did hear a big city move. It does feel a little bit like protecting yourself, not expressing yourself. Again, not feeling like you're at a place where you're there yet. To me, the Hierophant in the reverse, right, for you specifically right now, brought up the idea that there's always more to learn, there's always more to do, there's always more to study. But the Magician in the reverse shows me that your internal awareness is at a place where it wants to stretch out, it wants to reach. I mean, I can't think of two different energies than these cards. Someone who trusts the process and someone who studies the process. So you might feel a little freer than this if you decide to see what happens, knowing that if you try, there's no such thing as failure. There's just such a thing as learning and then adapting and then moving forward.
Awesome. That was for you, Lisa. Next, we're kind of moving on, skipping people who didn't put your name, because thank you guys for reminding each other to put the name in. So I think next is Paula. Paula, what's the general guidance?
I'm just charging my computer, so give me just a second.
Okay, let me, yeah, don't run out of battery.
I know.
Stay with us.
It's the worst. It's like the oldest computer from literally 7 years ago. I never updated anything. There we go. Okay.
Paula, you're being asked to really protect your boundary. I pulled a boundary card and protection card. So it's very a very clear message that that you might have kind of took a break from practicing strong boundaries, and you're being reminded that you do need to really strengthen your boundaries. That means saying no. That means saying yes to the things that feel aligned to you. That means, you know, not people pleasing. So whatever strengthening boundary means to you, that's for you, Paula.
It does feel, so the Queen of Wands came up, which is a card that has a really fiery energy, but it doesn't feel like you're using that fire. Again, this is, I guess, the card of the night. The Hierophant came up, which what I really focused on with this, or what really called out to me with this card, is that he's trying to push away the boundaries that he's in. And then the Two of Cups reversed. So it does feel like there's a challenge to your relationship right now where you don't feel safe expressing yourself fully. So definitely know that that's not a place to be without either changing it or moving forward. If you feel like you can't be your most authentic self, if it's not giving you peace, if it's not giving you clarity, if it's not encouraging you, if it's not supporting you, then it's not for you.
Moving on to next person, Lydia. Lydia wants a job guidance, clarity with the job. Lydia, oh my God, you're not gonna like what I'm gonna tell you, but you weren't meant to work for somebody. It's even before I pull the cards, but they're saying like you know this, Lydia. You weren't meant to work for somebody. And you're not going to like hearing it from me because you don't feel like you're ready for it. And maybe you're not ready for it, but the clarity around your job is you're not supposed to work for someone. So eventually you're going to have to be your own boss. Call to prayer, rely on your guides, keep meditating and praying and seek the guidance, work with your ancestor, your guides, transformation, so there's a big transformation to the kind of person you were meant to be. And it doesn't have to be right now. It doesn't have to be this month. It doesn't have to be this quarter. So relax, but it's just what's coming through.
Yeah, I got the Emperor flew out, which I can't think of a more literal like vision of the man, the person that you don't want to work with. And it does feel like jobs have not worked with you in the past. You don't love having a manager. You don't love being managed. But not everybody is the man. You're just not being your own boss. So I think it's time to step into that wilder energy, the moon, step into your fears, lean into, prepare for the worst and expect and hope for the best. Because honestly, it doesn't feel like you are really down for the traditional track at all.
Yeah, I have so many feelings right now for you, Lydia. You are extremely powerful and very magnetic. So wherever you get plugged in, you're going to excel. So because of it, you're doing really well in your job. They don't want to let you go. They love you. But then, like everything you do is going to be that powerful and that good and that magnetic. But what that does is you're not putting that kind of magic into the things you should be putting into to fully do your soul's work. Would you say that your job right now is doing your soul's work? Yes or no? You know this already. So eventually you're going to have to step away from these jobs that doesn't do your soul's work and then step into your soul's work. Just because I know you're already doing that work, Anyway, moving on. Sorry, got a little too excited. Chanel wants a general guidance. Chanel feels like a lot going on when my card just kind of fall, just fall out. So let me just see, there like 10 cards fall out. So let me just kind of see.
Yeah, I gathered all of mine in and shuffled them traditionally, which is not a thing.
Yeah, you want to go first, Jillian? Because I got 8 cards to kind of.
Sure. So, general guidance for Janelle. These energies are so funny. So, I think I needed to know for myself that I shuffled really well because we got Queen of Wands in the reverse, as well as Death in the upright. Queen of Wands in the reverse for me, it feels like you are not feeling well. You don't feel like you're able to shine your light. The energy is definitely a little bit frazzled. I do feel like you're pouring it into something that isn't giving back. It is a little bit of a decision in where to put your time, where to put your energy. When you've been successful before in other ventures that are similar to the one you're doing now. So the Death card is kind of a permission slip to really decide, hey, what would it look like if things were completely different? If I left this, would it be maybe not that bad? I'm getting a real big, just blank slate, new start type thing for you.
Yeah, Janelle, I'm looking at this card. There's things around this new things, kind of starting your journey. There's a big transformation energy, but also kind of very much of a controlling or wanting to control energy and trying so hard energy because it's really important to you. And you're a little scared. You're scared of all this big energy and transformation and all this, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, what's going to happen. Um, who am I? You know, am I, who's my authentic me, and how am I showing up as my soul self? Like all these things are happening, but ultimately, I think the card that kind of a guidance for you moving forward is just acknowledging where you are right now with all these things. And you don't have to know the answers or have the clarity right now because that's going to come according to divine timing. But all the answers you're seeking is already there with you. It's just that they just need to happen according to how it's going to happen. So just try to be kind to yourself, try to trust yourself, believe in yourself, meditate and pray or do whatever that's going to connect to your soul self, and just write this out. And you're going to get to the clarity. You're going to get to some answer, not all the answer, but some answer soon. We don't know who this person is, so we're skipping. So please comment with your name. Oh, so Jane says we did make sense for her reading, so that's good. And Suyapa says we said her name correct.
Yay.
Awesome. And then Ellie wants a general guidance. Oh man, Ellie. Just because you're in the inner circle and we did all our stuff yesterday and just continuing on the conversation that happened. The family stuff is come in your field right now. So we talked about you're kind of dealing with some inner child stuff, some family stuff. It's still, you're working through it. You're still processing it. So it's acknowledging your journey. And then the sensuality card came out. So to me, this is a guidance, as we talked about yesterday. You're being asked to be soft. You know, how can you be more feminine instead of go get it and make it happen? How could you just stay still and receive and attract, and be soft and beautiful and gentle? So that's what you're being asked to do.
Yeah, it's so funny. The sun was the first part. It fell out before the name popped up, but I knew it was for this person. It's in the reverse, so it's a little bit overpowering. Like what I saw in my mind's eye was like a blinding bright light. So it looks like you're being asked to, and it feels like it feels for you like dimming your shine, but it's more like going and exploring shadow work. Like what I think sometimes with the sun card, vulnerability is one of the hardest places to be. It's much easier to kind of have a full-blown like avoidance to anything that could not be seen as positive or anything that could be a little unsafe feeling. But that's kind of where you're being asked to ride into right now and journey into. And your sunlight will still be there. You will not lose yourself. It's just that you'll find more of yourself and it'll be more of a balance.
So that's for you, Ellie. Lisa says, thank you both. Time for me to step out. Yes, yes, you're ready. Someone asked for guidance for dating life, but we didn't know who the name is. So we hope that you comment again. Make sure you say dating life and your name, and then we'll tune in for you. Molly wants a general guidance. Wait, love reading. Molly, here, love reading, right? So love reading. She wants a love reading, right? Relationship reading.
Relationship.
Yeah. I'm going to use this relationship card. It helps if you're single or attached, but let's just tune in general because we don't know. Molly. Molly, I pulled these card reconciliation. So this is like reunion or forgiveness. And then intimacy, kind of sex and intimacy and pleasure. So without just knowing anything, I'm like, if are you back with an ex or something, or or something that you need to let go? Maybe you need to let go of your past. So if you're with in a relationship, oh, you're single. Okay, Molly says she's single. Then it's something that you need to. You might get back with an ex if we read it that way. Or it's almost like you need to let go. There's certain thing you need to let go of your past relationship to get to your next intimate kind of a very loving, very passionate relationship that you want to manifest. So it could. So I'm reading two way. One is you might, you might if you just chose to get back with an ex. There's a thing happening, or more another reading will be let go of some of the baggages from your old relationship so you could manifest more intimate loving relationship that's new. Jillian, what did you get?
I kind of got the same from the latter. Your energy is Queen of Cups energy. In the reverse, it feels like a softer, more feminine energy. And it does feel like the people you typically tend to go to both aren't on your level and can't nurture that energy. And it's a pattern and it hasn't been working out. And it's like that to me, and Sue was talking about the leftover baggage from exes. We tend to base our relationships on the patterns that we've had, but they ended. So we have to be open to someone who will nurture us. And that doesn't mean that it won't be exciting, but someone who will still not be at such contrarian odds with ourselves. Opposites do attract, but that's also difficult. It's not very easy. So consider being open to things you may not have been before in terms of love.
Cool. All right, next we have Julie. Julie wants a work guidance. I'm laughing because I got stopped and burn it down. So there's certain things you need to stop doing and ending. I hope that's not me because I'm your client. So I hope I feel pretty strongly that's not me. You need to stop and ending. But there are certain things about your business and your work that's no longer serving you. You've known this. You need to let it end. You need to have courage to let it end. Common ground was the third card that came out. You need to find, when you end these things, then you're going to find more work that's more common ground with you, who you are. And I, as your client, is common ground ready, so don't drop me.
I got, open up the Four of Pentacles here, open up. It was in the reverse. It feels a little bit like this is where you believe that you are. It's like you're operating from an old paradigm, an old energetic paradigm that no longer applies because it feels like you're on the upward track of success with your career. I don't know your career, but with your career, it feels like things are booming, but we're still not shaking this older idea of how things are. And really it's a totally different energy. It's a King of Cups energy. And so this is someone who is stable, happy, intuitive, emotional, but clearly on top of things, not over, take some time to study the dichotomy between how you feel and reality, and maybe write down some facts. It's one of my favorite things to do with friends, spirituality aside, is to list all the facts that they have, the things that they've accomplished in the last year and the changes that they've made, and really take a look at that and try to see where the disconnect is, and then meditate on that and work with that.
Man, that's just good stuff. Because I know Julie, I was like, yes, yes, so good, so good. I agree. Someone said, yes, thank you, ladies. I needed that. You're welcome. Next is Jill, I think. Jill.
Hi, Jill.
Unsure about the man she's dating.
I don't love reading others' energy. So what I want to do is I'm just going to read your, like someone who's not present in the reading. So I'm just going to read what this person's doing for you and your energy with this person.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put general guidance for you in your relationship in relations to this romantic relationship. I'm really not good with love reading, but we're gonna pull cards anyway. So let's see for sure. Um, these cards are at least for love. So I'm gonna pull. Okay, let's see. Okay, well, I pull codependency. So that might be, I'm not saying you're codependent, but there might be codependent tendency. Like, what do I, so, and then miles apart. So I feel like miles apart is someone who's kind of emotionally distant and giving space. So one of you is pulling away and the other person is feeling like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to do? So there's that disconnect. And both of it comes from that one that's more codependent, like kind of wanting to attach, and one that's pull away. Both of you guys, it's kind of your inner child stuff.
Yeah.
So you can change how he is, but what you can work on is working on your childhood stuff to free you from these tendencies in a relationship, because this is not only going to help you in this current relationship, it can help you in all relationships moving forward.
Mm-hmm. So the first card out was Six of Pentacles, and a few key words came out: boundaries, unbalanced, a feeling of kind of, like if you look at this card upright, a feeling of kind of being grateful for what you're given, which isn't a lot. You're not getting a lot. That's the dynamic. You know, there can be it feels like an anxious, avoidant dynamic. This does not feel easy to hear, and I feel you there. I have been here, because the next card was the Two of Swords in the reverse. So I'm going to show it to you upright. There's just some truths that we're not wanting to hear, we're not ready to hear, about what we're actually receiving in this relationship, what this relationship's actually doing for us. So I think it would be best, right now, to take a look again at the way things are versus the way sometimes we kind of color things to be, with a the feeling that I get from this card is just one of gratitude for things that you deserve more, essentially, is what I feel right now. And I don't know, we got to reset some boundaries there and work on demanding more for yourself, which starts with ourselves. We give more to ourselves, and that's how we expect more from others. So, yeah.
All right, we're moving on. We're going to move quickly because it's been almost an hour, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time, especially Jillian's. But I want to share, Lydia says she almost rage quit a few times this week. So it's definitely starting to bubble over. Don't ever rage quit, though. Even though it feels deserving and it's going to feel great temporarily, never a good idea to rage quit. Just quit, but quit grounded.
Well, it's like, for you,
moving on.
Go
ahead,
for
Jillian.
Lydia, it's like, not if we're mad at every boss, then it's not every boss. Like, we have to look within and see, what do I actually want? I want to be my own boss. So,
you know what you want, Lydia. You do know. I know, Anyway, okay, next is Casey. Casey would appreciate a love reading. Okay, so let's try this with Casey.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my cards for a second.
First.
So the card that first came out was the Hangman. and what the message that I'm really getting from spirit is to just lay low right now in terms of love. For the past, the card The Fool came out, which is not calling you fool. This is actually one of my favorite cards. It's actually like one of my like ally cards because it represents like a reckless abandon into joy and happiness. But as you can see, he's about to jump off a cliff. So I see that in your past, and then in your future right now, I see you really want something, but it's marinating. It's not the time. And if we force it, it's going to be the opposite of reckless abandon and joy. It's just going to be work and not necessarily enjoyable. So I'm really getting from the Hangman that, you know, just hang with yourself for right now, no pun intended, just really just wait and create space for that person, the right person.
Casey, I pulled the card unrequited. So this card kind of saying like one-sided or not, things is not working out. And then repair, time of healing. Some things you need to be kind of mending and healing. So what I'm being at, I feel like what this says is just like what Jillian said, maybe you just focus on your own healing and your own journey because things are just not working out anyway right now. And then I got finance, cash. So it feels like maybe focus on making money or spending money on yourself, but it just kind of focus on something else for the time being. So I don't know if that's helpful to you, but that's what we got. Mm-hmm. So that was for you, Casey. We're moving close. Amy, growing her family, guidance with growing her family. And then next is Karen, and then next is Anna, and Anna will be our last one. So we'll do Amy right now, then Karen, then Anna, and then that would be it. So let's do Amy.
Wow. These cards are making me laugh. They're very sweet.
Tell us, Jillian, you go first.
So, the first card out was Five of Cups in the reverse, but upright, it's a family. The children, joy. And then Seven of Cups also in the reverse was dreams, ideas. But it does feel like with the desires, it's a little bit of an uphill battle. This was in the reverse, but just so you can see the picture. So keep in mind that may be a little bit of what's coming with the family planning. I'm getting like think creatively, think out of the box. The old-fashioned way isn't the only way.
So family card came out. So and then sensuality came out. So you really being in that woman energy, that feminine sensual energy. So very in alignment with the time. So I guess it's a good timing for you to be growing your family, being sensual, sexual. And family, make babies. The third card that came out is awaken, but there is some, your eyes, the veil, like the rose colored glasses needs gonna come off, or maybe it's starting to come off. You're going to be able to see this with a little more clarity and more reality. And, you know, so you're being encouraged to look at this whole thing with less idealistic, kind of dreamy eyes, but more with like kind of grounded, more realistic, more like kind of a kind of street smart type of an energy. That's what's guidance for you, Amy. So next is Karen. Karen wants guidance on financial wealth and sustainability. So kind of a guidance around her finance. I got protection card, talisman, boundary, and play your music. So it feels like, Karen, you're being asked to be really conservative, maybe. There's things you need to protect and stronger boundaries. So I think, if you are needing to invest in certain things or spend or level up, I would encourage you to be cautious, be more conservative. If you were to spend, and one key to really expanding your finance, I think, is letting people know how good you are, letting people know how magical or how good of a work you do. So, like, people need to know your worth. So that effort needs to happen. But in terms of your money management and your financial things, be conservative, be cautious.
Yeah, I got kind of the Three of Wands in the reverse, which upright, just speaks to kind of like to me, it just speaks to kind of like not either growing up in more of like a more difficult financial circumstance or a feeling of scarcity. And I don't know that feeling feels very gone now. Like it feels like there's the response to that from the past is now kind of like indulgence and a little bit of decadence and not really being accountable with money and wealth. And so I got the Lover's card in the reverse, which to me in this reading means to marry the two. There are some really great financial psychologists podcasts and really interesting things you can do. Think about how we think about money, from how we were raised within a family dynamic and how that applies now, how we use it, how we reward ourselves with it. So I would suggest taking a little, like Sita said, also like be very wary and be very aware of how much you're actually spending in a day, but also take a look into what's behind those spending habits, the patterns and the behavioral emotional reactivity behind the dynamic.
Awesome. So now our last reading for tonight is Anna. So this is for Anna, general guidance for Anna. Anna, I got sister card and release card. So it feels like you need to let go of certain community or maybe some people in your community and embrace new community, new sisterhood. So you're being encouraged to release people who are no longer serving you in your community or community that's no longer serving you, and then plug yourself or invite yourself into a community or sisterhood that's more aligned to you.
And then I pulled the Knight of Wands, which was just this really big burst of energy. And it feels really exciting, but it doesn't feel self-sustainable. He literally looks like, to me, he's on fire. I heard go when I first pulled this card, but paired with the Four of Swords in the reverse, it feels like there is something that's happening. It might already be happening. There is a big life actionable change, and I don't know that it will bring you the results that you want, but what it has to bring you is a lot more valuable. There's going to be a lot more lessons that you learn in the future and apply in the future. So I think this is already kind of, whatever it is that was kind of like an impulsive change is already happening. But I think Spirit is showing me this card for you to reassure you to not necessarily be worried, because it's all been kind of ordained that way. And that's how we learn. And thankfully, if we look back, sometimes we learn some of our hardest lessons with things that weren't meant to stick around anyway. So it's all a gift, and just focus on that as things start developing.
Awesome. So that was for you, Anna. So Jillian, that was it. We spent 70 minutes doing live reading. Thank you for joining me. That was busy, and thank you guys. Yeah, it was quick and it was good, and I loved how our messages were aligned. Jillian, tell us how people can work with you. So tell us how, I know you do tarot reading, I know you do Reiki energy healing. I know you do virtual and in person, but say one more time how people, what's the best way for people to book a private session with you? And then we'll share the link maybe in the comment section at the end.
Yeah, that'd be great. So right now, the best way is to shoot me a message over Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, I do accept text messages as well. I am at Indigo RVA right now in Richmond, Virginia on Patterson Avenue, but that is going to be changing. I'll only be there sporadically. So the Instagram at Bird of the Scales is the best way to look out for me. And you can also, if we're in this group, of course, send me a Facebook message. Really, I love picking up that energy virtually too, because it's just as fun. So that is the best.
Yeah, we'll share a link to her
Those are the
Instagram
best ways
to follow her. We'll post it there so you don't have to like write it down. And those of you who missed the live reading, next time we'll be doing another one. So just join us next time, and you could always book private session with Jillian. But we do have another one. Lydia is doing our next one with me on the. So this was our solar New Year psychic happy hour, and Lydia and I'll do our lunar New Year psychic happy hour coming up. So, and then another, just a reminder, you guys, there's a healing happy hour around witchcraft next week. So don't forget. So thank you again, everyone.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Theo. Bye.